Hey Leo, Mariah here. It is a pleasure to be reading for you. I know this is not the usual what you see of me on my channel, and I literally just woke up. I'm still dead tired. Uh, but I felt the message on my heart. I felt the message on my spirit. I don't know what it is, but I do feel like something needs to be conveyed to you. So I am here, early as hell in the morning, when I should be asleep. And I wish I was still asleep, but no. When Spirit says speak, you gotta get up and speak. So that is what we're getting ready to do this morning. So let's get into it. I just want to apologize in advance that my energy is still a little off. I literally have not done anything yet but hop out the bed and literally turn on this camera. So I'm going to use my cards as a channeling tool, as I always do. And let's hop into this for you. So Leo, let's see. Spirit guides, angels, ancestors. What are the messages that you were trying to give me this morning? What needs to be conveyed to Leo? So we have the Sun, the High Priestess in the reverse, Three of Pentacles in the reverse, Nine of Cups, and the Ace of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, I'm sorry, my energy is off. Like I said, I just woke up, but we have the Sun here. So yeah, so it feels like we're right on target. We're right on track. The High Priestess in reverse, Three of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. So let's see. Let me keep shuffling really quick. One last card, Spirit, for Leo. Thank you. We have the Eight of Pentacles. One more. What else does my Leos need to know right now? Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, and the King of Cups in reverse. Ooh. Okay. This is an odd message, but it does feel like it's on target with what I was feeling. I just couldn't articulate why the hell Spirit needed me to get up and do this before I get my day started, but let's get into it. How can I put this to you, Leo? If you had any siblings, you may have played the role of the caretaker or was always expected to be the responsible one. You may have felt different in an unexplainable way, or you may have felt like you were of earth but not from it. You may have felt like you were not heard or loved in the way you needed. You may have not felt like you were validated by your loved ones as a child. You may have second-guessed at times when you were younger about using your voice or just to be the observer. And you may have walked a fine line due to the cycling. Oh my goodness, my battery's dying. I didn't charge it last night. Give me a second. Let me charge my battery. I'm sorry, Leo. Like I said, my battery died. I was not prepping for this at all this morning. I genuinely was not prepping for this. But what I was saying, Leo, it felt like cycling between paths, whether it's taking the road paved or the road less traveled. Always feeling like you're at some form of an impasse. Yeah, that's what I'm getting here. It's like an impasse, where you're just always at the crossroads, and these cards are lining up exactly with the energy I was feeling this morning and have been feeling this morning since getting up. It's like you always may have felt like you were at some form of a crossroad. It's like the womb. The womb is important. Family. Family may have been dismissive to you, whether leaving you feeling unnurtured or unloved in some way, shape, form by how they treated you. And you know what else this feels like too? There's something about being stifled in your younger years. But you weren't given that upbringing for no reason, Leo. You weren't born into the family you were born into for no reason. And it wasn't by mistake. So please, when you look back, try not to look at it with sour eyes. You didn't experience the treatment from your family that you experienced for no reason. You didn't experience that dysfunctional family or some form of trauma for no reason, Leo. It's like all of it truly held a higher purpose. And there was a reason much larger for this, for you to go through those experiences, for you to deal with those circumstances. Now, mind you, opposition does create opportunity. And again, it feels like you're of this world but not from it. And the upbringing you had was really needed. It needed to be that opposing force that can create that dynamic change within you. And more importantly, for you to create the dynamic change in the world, and the structure you come from was meant to be the foundational experience to know how to really bring this change forward in the world, right? If we can do it within ourselves, we can do it with others. And it's meant to help you create an impact in the world and leave an impact in the world. It was also meant to give you the emotional, psychological, mental bandwidth to be able to do this. Now, you will deal with opposition, you will deal with conflict, you will deal with challenge. I mean, that's life. There's no other way around that. And it is going to be difficult. I can't promise you anything otherwise. I'm not a God, I'm not a prophet. But that's why you had the upbringing that you had. You have to be able to manage and handle the challenges that you are going to have to face when bringing change to the world, and to really be able to sustain and be able to have the capacity to know how to navigate this massive change or very impactful change and transformation. And again, this purpose that you're bringing forward, right? Your purpose and the change you're bringing forward into the world, it's not only to change the trajectory of your life, but to change the trajectory of other people's lives and to help other people move forward and help other people really along their path. Or there's something here, Leo, that you're doing that's going to be creating an impact just based off your efforts and the things that you do. It's like a domino effect, the ripple effect, but you needed that upbringing that you had to be able to do this. It was really needed. It was absolutely needed. And it feels like something's preordained here. I don't want to be cheesy. I don't want to be cliche. But it feels like something maybe was fated, written in the stars. I mean, maybe assigned to you at birth. Um, the best way I could put it, especially with that high priestess being here, it's like it's a part of your destiny. And for whoever I'm speaking to specifically, if you were to look at your natal chart, you may find something very auspicious about your natal chart. But in general, your energy, there is a rarity to your energy. There is a beauty to your energy. And I know, again, this ain't for everybody, but whoever it is, just even saying these words may really connect or deeply resonate with you. And there is something very different about you, Leo. I don't know you personally, but I do know you are one of a kind individual. Even at a very young, primitive age, it's like you've always felt to some degree, maybe just different, maybe you just didn't fit in, or maybe you felt like you didn't belong, or maybe you felt like an outcast, if not treated like an outcast in some way. But that was the thing there. You were meant to be different, so that way you can stand out. You can't change and make change in the world for your life or others with the sheep or herd mentality. But the thing about this, though, without dealing with opposition in your younger years, you would have never had the foundational blocks to be able to handle the challenges you'll be dealing with and the changes you'll be making in the world. And they say, teach them old. I mean, excuse me, teach them young so they know how to manage when they're old, and teach a man how to fish and he'll catch them for a lifetime. That's kind of what this feels like. Now, mind you, Leo, if you weren't brought into the family you had and the upbringing experiences you dealt with, you would crack under the challenging forces you would have to deal with when it comes to making this impact. And you wouldn't have the same internal support system of emotional experience to really execute your purpose when it comes to making this impact in the world. And those youthful years of disappointment, frustration, feeling upset, and dealing with upsetting moments were all a part of a larger plan here, with you being chosen to make such a large impact. And you really had to be shown that you can handle anything. And I know some of the circumstances may have been unfortunate, but you had to, not to be cheesy, but pressure builds diamonds kind of thing here. And the family you may have had to deal with and the treatment that you had to face may have not been the best, whether it was not fitting in, whether it just felt like you didn't belong, whether feeling like you were outcast and maybe not getting the validation from your family, maybe feeling overlooked, maybe feeling underheard, maybe feeling invisible, but always expected to be the responsible one in some way. Maybe the one that had to grow up quickly. It's like there's something about a challenging or opposing force in your childhood, Leo, that you had to endure, that you really had to face, or that you really had to experience. Whether it's family trauma, dysfunction, and upset. But those are some of the most impactful experiences a child can deal with, and it shapes their life forever, and it truthfully does.
But these experiences were only meant to grow you and build you stronger and cultivate the person you were meant to be to carry out such a strong purpose for yourself, and not to hinder you, not to hold you back, not to make you feel stuck. They were not meant to make you feel stuck. And it's like you're more emotionally resilient because of this, Leo. And you're an old soul, and you may have never felt like you truly fit in with the people around you or the people your age. It's like you are experienced and you are wise and you are all these things, and all these things are needed to take the path paved just for you. So don't forget that. It's like your family, your background, your bloodline, your immediate family. Yeah, those experiences may have not been the greatest. Childhood may have not been the best for you. Not to say your childhood was all bad, not to say every memory in your childhood was horrendous. You may have had some highlights here and there, but if you were to look back at your childhood from a level of like overall percentage, I'm probably sure you can pinpoint out either more disappointing experiences, or you can at least point out maybe some highlighted experiences that were so savory that just was not good. But again, though, nonetheless, none of that takes away from what I'm saying here. So understand that, like, all of these experiences are a part of your origin story, man. They're really needed to build up that bandwidth of resilience, because whatever purpose that is preordained for you, Leo, you're meant to make an impact in the world. And this impact, you had to have the foundation. You had to go and build that resilience at a very young age. You really did. And I'll just say this, Leo, I love you. You got this. I cannot wait to hear about the change you're going to make in the world, to see the impact you're going to make. You're meant to touch so many lives, even if you don't know it fully yet, even if you don't know how, even if you don't know when. Spirit ain't put this energy on my heart for no reason, because I don't do mornings. I'm not a morning person. I would rather be in the bed sleep. I love y'all, but I would rather be in the bed just laying down. But now I'm kind of up, so I'm going to get my coffee and make me some breakfast. But don't forget what I said, Leo, and don't allow, even though I had to highlight maybe some of the more negative experiences that you've been through, that's not the purpose of this message. It's not meant to be a low vibrational reading, as someone commented the other day. That's not what that's about. And if you take that from this, then you may need to do some real self-reflection. It's meant to highlight where you came from to understand where you're going. And that's always going to be important. It's always going to be imperative. So that way, based upon your past, the gems you had to learn and go through, how to carry the lessons on, so that way you can succeed and really create change, not only for yourself, but out there in the world. And like I mentioned, not everybody's going to have this lofty purpose and goal and thing in life. No, not everybody. That's unrealistic. A lot of us don't. But to whomever I am speaking to, you do. You do. And it may feel like a blessing and a curse. I don't know. But you do. And it's always in my eyes a blessing. So just know I love you. I'm going to get out of here. You be well. And bye, Leah.